Scott, a couple of injuries thrown into the mix. How you coping?
Yeah, well, it's offset a little bit by some really good inclusions with Thomas available and Zeeble back available. And the form of our VFL players really helping offset the loss to a certain extent. But you don't replace Daniel Wells, do you? So he's been a super player for us this year, and we rate him right up there in the top echelon of midfielders in the competition, which you clearly need when you play a side like Collingwood with an abundance of really good players. And Lee Adams is the heart and soul of our club. So he's a huge loss for us, and he's had a really rough trot, and we hope that getting his shoulder fixed and getting him right for next year, and he'll be back bigger and better than ever next year. And Nathan Grimer has obviously been an important part of our defence too, so we'll miss him.
Are you confident Wells is just the 1 week?
I don't think you're ever super confident. I mean, the indications are that we're hoping it'll only be a week. We've ruled him out for this week, and then it's just a matter of getting him back into full training as soon as possible. But I think it's always very difficult to put a time frame on this. We've just got to see how he recovers.
Who's likely to come in?
Oh, we've got some Zeeble will definitely come in. Zeeble's a really important member of our midfield. He's our vice captain. So he'll come back in, and then Lindsay Thomas will come back in too. So that's two players that have been mainstays of our side. So as for the third and potentially other changes, we'll have to assess training form. But we're pleased with the depth we've got. We've got a lot of key position players that we think can, while they're not the same as Nathan Grimer, we think that we can cover a hole down back if we need to.
The Pies have been probably your bogey team over the last few years, Brad.
Not only for us.
No. Is this the biggest test this year?
Difficult to stack them up. I mean, I've said many times we've been in the fortunate position where our destiny's in our own hands, and we've faced crunch games for almost 2 months, one after the other. So this is just another one of those for us. They've proven themselves to be a great team. They've really back into some really good form. A really good, hard, tough, resilient win against great opposition away from home last week. So they're clearly in good nick, and their good players seem to be coming to the fore, and their key forwards are always dangerous. So it's always a huge challenge. But the focus for us is on doing what we've been doing well, and making sure that we keep focused on that.
Jack Zeeble must be fresh as a daisy.
Yeah, he looks good. 4 weeks out's a long time, so he's been training really well, and all the indications are that he'll come back in good nick. But he's a natural footballer. He's an extremely hard worker, but I mean his strength is that his touch is fairly natural. A lot of players, when they miss 4 weeks, probably struggle a bit for touch, but Jack's he's that natural footballer with natural touch. So we think that side of his game will be pretty good, and he should have fresh legs.
How was his time in Utah?
Yeah, really good. He's come back with as deep a tan as he can possibly get. Jack, this is as dark as you'll ever see him. So boys are getting into him about his tan. That's not really a tan, but no, it's great training over there. It's the weather at this time of year is unbelievable, and it is at altitude, but it's a world-class training environment. And again, he was able to hook into our contacts at the US Olympic ski team, and he's able to train with some of the best athletes and work with some of the best physiologists in the world. So it's certainly going to help him.
He did say he won't change the way he plays. Have you even entered any discussions on that?
No, I agree with him. I think that a key fundamental of our game is keeping your eyes on the ball and attacking the ball, and instruction to the players has been that if you do that, you should be okay. We were proven wrong, unfortunately, but I don't know any other way to tell players to attack the ball other than to go for it with their eyes on the ball, making the ball their sole intention. So we can't tell Jack to do anything different.
Lockie Hansen got a pretty big knock last week, Brad. How's he pulled up?
Yeah, really well. Yeah, I mean he's out there running around and he'll train, and he's pulled up really well. So we're lucky there, because obviously when everyone saw him go down, we were concerned, but he's recovered really well.
Brad, the key to beating Collingwood?
Well, it might seem simple, but their strengths are they're upper echelon in the competition for contested possession. They're upper echelon in the competition for outside run, they've got a really strong defence. So, it just gets back to the basics of footy, and that is we have to be able to beat them in at the coalface, and that's no easy task with Scott Pendlebury I rate as one of the best midfielders in the competition, and Dane Beams is very quickly pushing himself up into that category too. So we're going to have a real challenge to win the ball on them and defend really well when we haven't got it. So it's simple and it's easier said than done.
That uncontested possession last year was one area they really killed you in, wasn't it?
Wasn't the only one.
No.
But I mean that game last year is quite extraordinary. I mean there's very rarely, I defy anyone to find a game like that where you lose by 117 points, but still go inside forward 50, 47 times. We beat Collingwood in the clearances by 12, and lost by 117 points. So, we just got monstered by their good players, and they outrun us. So, it'll be, it's always a tough test against them, but our focus is strongly on what we want to do. And everyone's aware of what they do well.
Boomer happy to go around again next year?
If he keeps playing like he did last week, I won't let him retire. But yeah, he's he never ceases to amaze, and he just keeps fronting up, keeps training exceptionally well, and he's such a hard worker. There's no secret behind his success. So while he's got that attitude and he's got that mindset, and his body holds up, we're desperate for him to continue. 400
games.
Yeah, I think. I heard David King's comments, and I think in his position as a media commentator, I think that's a fair enough call. I mean, what he's observed so far would suggest that he probably could do it, but that's certainly not my way of thinking about it. Certainly not the way Boomer thinks about it. If he's still playing well, he'll accumulate whatever number of games he accumulates. So, but we're confident at the moment at round 20 that if he keeps going this way, he'll play next year, and as we have for the last 5 or 6 years, we'll just assess it year by year.
When you assess it, do you look at his body or do you look at what's happening up in his head, in his mental application?
Probably a 50-50 split of both, but he's been an extremely resilient player over his career, so his body's in terrific shape, and mentally he's one of the strongest athletes I've ever come across. So those two things are probably looked at in equal measure.